Do you love combat but hate getting hit? Does getting blown up bother you? And do you want to torment your enemies by sending them to the Shadow Realm? Well, in Rimworld, we're going to be using a very niche exploit in order to accomplish this. And it's going to involve building the most broken, buggy, and overpowered kill box you've ever seen. To do this, we're going to be doing a Lost Tribe start, because our run is melee only. But I'll be showing you why that doesn't matter whatsoever. Plonk on a random seed, and we are good to go. Now we'll be starting in an arid shrubland bio, although realistically this can be done anywhere. We'll also be using a fluid ideology to develop it over time, although it's not particularly needed. I haven't even changed anything about our ideology, and it defaulted to ethical justice with a $sign. Man, this game knows me so well. I was scrolling down and I realized there's a couple new things on here. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I know what mod this is from, and I don't really want to know. In terms of rituals, we're pretty bare bones, but a little tip for anybody that uses a tribal start: if you want to start with better than tribal gear, you can actually set a button-down t-shirt and a war mask as your required apparel. That way, starting into the game, our characters have both, which gets around one of the biggest downsides of being a tribal. Now, for a melee-only run, having relatively decent combat stats is preferred, because we can't really make use of kiting at the start of the game. But as I'm going to show you, there's a way to absolutely break melee in this game, and it all revolves around doors. Now, at the start of the game, we don't need to be too worried about building this melee kill box, because melee is okay. But as the game progresses and we fight things like mechanoids, melee becomes very quickly difficult to do. Coyote's hunting our chinchilla for food. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I just don't care. Your sacrifice was in vain. You will be forgotten, Mr. Chinchilla. Actually, it looks like we got relatively lucky and we have 2 ancient dangers on this map. Now, personally, whenever I play tribals, I try to get electricity first, even though it takes so long. But because we're doing melee only, we are gonna go for smithing in order to get a bunch of the really good melee weapons early on. Although first, we're gonna do stone cutting. You know, for a second, I thought our Persian cat's name was Benito, and now I just can't unsee it. Oh crap. And this is why you don't run things on 4 speed. Ah, you chose the wrong colony to mess with, my man. A bully from the Ika clan is passing by. She's just a 14-year-old bear slayer. Your ideology is called drug animalism. This lady even looks like she's from Woodstock. Oh, we just got an exotic goods trader. And the reason this is so good is because, well, there's an ancient danger right next to our base. It'd be a real shame if someone just happened to open it. Run, purple, run! Ah, now we can do what all good generals do. Wait for our allies to kill the enemy while we hide. Oh my god, wait, I didn't think they'd do that. They opened all the pods. This is either gonna be really, really good or really, really bad. Wait, this guy has a bionic tongue. What the heck? This is gonna be one of the strangest fights I've ever seen. Now, this isn't great, but it's also not all that bad. Most of these guys are bleeding out pretty badly, so if we just wait in here, they're all gonna bleed out and die. Unless Rat just has a mental break, you absolute god! He just walked out here and slapped her into next week. Now seems like a good time to use our overwhelming numbers. You may have guns, but I've got bodies. Oh, come on, a mad iguana to add insult to injury? Okay, that iguana was almost the end of the colony, but barely not. Now, I'd normally be overjoyed with all of this loot, but, you know, considering the fact that we can't actually use any of the ranged weapons, that makes it a lot worse. Although it is relatively nice to have access to some of the clothing and armor that these guys have. Oh, we got another transport pod crash from Levi over here. Her ideology is called the womanly herd. Oh shit, Levi actually joined. I just expected to harvest her organs. You know what I never understood in Rimworld? When people have tantrums and they just start punching walls, like, where are the injuries from that? I don't often go around punching limestone walls, but I figure I'd break at least my entire hand from that. A raid, okay. It's just one dude. Allow me to extend a formal invitation to beat your ass. Now, this took me way too long to realize, but people with bloodlust and psychopath can actually wear tainted apparel with no mood buff. That means we have access to full sets of recon armor on white here without any penalties. Purple's throwing a party. Is the context, how the hell are we still alive? Because that seems like a pretty good one to celebrate. Oh, we got a shuttle crash, which means that we can rescue these people in hopes of them actually joining us. So at this point, we've fully walled in our colony, and it's time for us to do something really weird. Now, if you remember back to what I said at the beginning of the video, I talked about how doors can actually be used to be extremely broken. As we know, Rimworld can sometimes not be super logical in its physics, but something you might have run into before are these weird sideways doors. See, if I throw these all down, you look at this and think that it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. The doors are not ever really lined up in the right direction, which is exactly how we're going to be breaking this. Now, these sideways doors have some very illogical properties. Something that not many people know is that you can attack someone through the side of a door, but they can't attack you back. Which means that between these two colonists right here, Bara can attack Barker, but Barker can't attack Bara. And I think you know exactly where this is going. White tried to convert Erwin and led to a social fight. Yeah, bad idea, Erwin. You're fighting the guy in full recon armor. And this is our final product. This disgusting, horrifying spawn of Cthulhu. The doors don't look right. The angles don't look right. Nothing seems right. Now all we have to do is wait for a raid. Some battle animals wandered in. Oh my gosh, 2 ocular nightlings. What even are these things? Praise Cthulhu, I guess. Of course, we're gonna name something very special. Drifters need charity. 130 silver. Oh God. They want it so they can buy back their friend. Who's selling people for 130 silver? And more importantly, why haven't I been offered one? Now, before our first raid, we are gonna make some weapons, but we do want to make sure that they have relatively high attack speeds, because attacking an enemy actually slows them down. And the more we can slow an enemy down, the more times we can hit them. Another transport pod, and this person is extremely good, holy crap. And a beautiful raid, which is perfect to test out our current system. No, my pet, my favorite pet of all that you should all really listen to. Now, as you'll see, the enemies will walk through here, but actually can still get stabbed by our colonists, despite the fact that it makes absolutely no sense. And we can, in fact, aggro our enemy to stop breaking down the walls just by going over here. If I was a little bit smarter, I would have set this up slightly differently, but you get the point. Now, all of them are going to try to flood through here, as we could just hit them through the walls, and they can't do anything to fight back. I love game balance. Also, Cthulhu's really showing no mercy here. Holy crap. Now, the way that I have this set up is fairly basic. You can make this much more complicated in order to prevent enemies from squishing through, or even needing someone to aggro the enemies to begin with. I'm also just going to store this guy in the cryosleep casket just for safekeeping if I ever need him. Now, I'm sure someone's already on their way to the comment section to say how this doesn't work against breacher raids, and because I'm not 3 years into the game, this strategy is invalid. But those people are thinking far too narrowly. See, this strategy is so easy, you don't need to use it for your main entrance. See, you can throw these kinds of setups absolutely everywhere. They take up almost no space, are extremely cheap to make, and ensure your colonists can't get hit. Oh, we got another raid, and this time these guys actually have guns, which I'd say this would make it a lot more difficult, but it really won't. So as long as we get everybody into position, we can then start to run back, and hopefully Rat doesn't die here. And now as they start to filter through, they're actually just gonna keep getting smacked again. Something we also did is threw a Cthulhu over here to block the way out, which makes it significantly easier to keep our enemies locked in. Good luck trying to kidnap Rat there. It's not gonna go so well for you, Brian. Oh, Jesus, a black hive attack? No. Rat, please, you've already got your left arm shot off. Oh, another raid. And with our good old cheese, it looks like they're gonna start lining up for the beatdown just about right now. Why does this remind me of Roller Coaster Tycoon? Now, of course, you can extend this line as far as you want. As soon as people in the front are done hitting people, you can move them all the ways to the back for them to attack again, making this kind of like a beatdown merry-go-round. Oh shit. So that's not very good. Looks like we just got raided by some mechanoids in drop pods. But this is the perfect opportunity to test out our defense. And now that we're here, we actually have someone who could just hit this scyther in the back for free, which it turns out is pretty good. And easy. We didn't even have to fight the second scyther because he was killed by Rat. That being said, mechs can be a bit of a problem with this kind of a setup, but much like all things OP, you can make it even worse. As a matter of fact, you can actually throw EMP and incendiary grenades into this hallway at no cost, meaning that you can perma-stun mechanoids and burn biologicals, Overall, this setup is really strong. Being able to hit your enemies without being hit back is unsurprisingly very good. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Also, check out my Twitch, where we're actually looking into the Poke Rim mod right now. Thanks for watching. See ya.